Hey everybody, we're checking in with Heidi Durflinger, CEO at EF World Journeys. She has had an amazing career and is the embodiment of a global mindset and turning your openness to the world into an effective career and an effective company. So let's check it out here for the vanbassador. We'll see you soon. We're here with Heidi Durflinger, CEO of World Journeys at EF. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you have your own origin story beyond and before probably EF. Could you talk a little bit about that experience and what is the key aspect that led to you being a global traveler coming from Kansas that differentiated from other people in your community?
I grew up in a small farming community in Kansas, and where travel wasn't a word that we were talking about around our dinner table. And I didn't know anyone who traveled internationally when I was growing up until my family started hosting international exchange students. So from the 4th grade until I graduated high school, for 9 years, we hosted 9 different students from 9 different countries around the world and 3 different continents. And so we were really bringing the world into my home. And I have sisters from all over the world now, from Norway and Italy, Thailand, Uzbekistan, Ecuador. And so that was really at a pivotal moment in my life. We had an opportunity to, learn about new traditions and new languages, and I was trying new foods from all over the world. And so it really inspired me to want to learn about other cultures. And when I was 16, then I had the very first chance to get my passport, and I traveled with our international exchange student from Italy to Bologna, Italy. And I lived with her family for a month during the summer, and that changed my course. It sparked the travel bug, and I've been continuously traveling the world ever since and trying to connect people and cultures and communities together.
Have you seen examples of where the mission resonates stronger in some cultures than others?
Yeah, so EFs Mission is to open the world through education. And the way that we do that through the EF World Journeys brands is by connecting cultures and communities together through guided group travel. And we have a global team. So there's EF presence in 50 countries across the world. And so everywhere we go, we are both global and local, supporting travelers to really learn the stories behind the places and the people that they're meeting. Education is universal. And no matter where you're going in the world, if it's, Africa, Asia, Central and South America, what unites people is, they care about their family, they care about their communities, and they care about learning and investing in their own growth and development and those around them. So education is universal.
How do you use a shared mission to align your various team members across different cultures and geography?
Yeah, so actually this is one of the really incredible things about working at EF and being this global company. We very much live and breathe and talk about our values as a company continuously. So some of those values are things like entrepreneurial spirit. So, if you have an idea, how are you taking it and actioning it? Innovations, we always want to be forward looking and thinking about how we can improve our experiences for our customers. Or passion, so really showing up every day as your whole self and bringing that to work, but also putting passion into what we're delivering for travelers, or having a nothing is impossible mindset. So we actually talk a lot about these values because they are represented no matter what part of EF that you work in and what country that you're working in. And of course, personality-wise, people always have conflict. That's really human nature. But one of the things that we really embody and talk about is living your strengths. We do the Gallup Strengths Finder, where we'll actually spend time as a team talking about how people naturally communicate, how do people naturally lead. And so when someone's showing up and you understand one person might need a lot more context around a decision that you're making, another person might be a big achiever and love big goals, or someone else might have competition, and maybe another person, myself included, is an includer. And so it's important to me to bring us all together as a community. And so we intentionally spend time when working as both teams that you work most closely with and as a leadership team to understand what really makes each person thrive.
When I was in China at the US Embassy as a Foreign Service Officer, I was managing local Chinese, and my default management style when I came in was one of a democratic, kind of openness to new ideas, buy-in from the group. That was not as well received initially as I had thought it would be. It was more seen as, hey, if this guy's asking me for advice, he clearly doesn't have a vision and know where he's going. Have you found things like that where there's different management styles that just don't work in different cultures?
Oh, that's interesting. So, actually, when I was in university, I took a course and then later was a student teacher for a cross-cultural communications course that was actually exactly on this topic of helping people understand how to communicate with each other. And it's something we talk a lot about at EF. We have an extremely diverse workforce being present with 500 offices and schools in over 50 countries around the world. We have people, when you walk in the elevators, you'll hear all different languages and people are coming from all different backgrounds. And so it actually makes the workplace super interesting, super dynamic. And I think it's incredibly critical for the future of the workforce in general for every company and anyone who is getting ready to join the workforce. And so, ways that we think about it is it can be small and entertaining, like, understanding if you're referencing a date that you're planning for us, a tour itinerary, and you think about things like Christmas, which is on a different day of the 24th or 25th, depending on what part of the world that you're in. Or if you're thinking about New Year's, that's celebrated in different parts of the world. And so there's small things about how we communicate, logistics, and also how you relate and interact. So for tour directors, for example, we do trainings with the tour directors that are leading trips in Japan. And if you consider the Japanese culture or the US culture, there are nuances and differences of how people are wanting to relate to each other, even as simple as how you greet one another. So we facilitate workshops that help our guides understand how Americans might perceive their signs of respect or the way that they're saying hello. Americans, we love to hug and we're very loud and outgoing and playful. And so those are really important as you're bringing groups together to help our guides understand our travelers and then to help our travelers learn more about the culture of the place they're going.
You just hired a new executive, I believe, VP for EF Ventures. What are the attributes that you look for in that hire?
When we were looking for someone to join the team, we were looking for someone that could understand those values of our travelers who both want to connect more with others in the group, with the people that they're meeting along the journey, who want to, explore nature and who want to understand a little bit more about the traditions and also relax over, beautiful meals that are locally owned restaurants and boutique lodging where you can have a spa with a view and relax after your long day of being active. And so, our VP of marketing, we're super excited to have him joining. His focus is to really get into the motivations behind travelers that are wanting to take this type of culturally immersive active adventure. When you're joining the EF Adventures team, most people are super active adventurers themselves and definitely are passionate about community connection and cultural immersion.
Now you speak about ikigai and a Japanese term. Can you talk about what that means and if it's received similarly across all the different members of your multicultural team?
Yeah. So ikigai is a Japanese philosophy where your passion meets purpose and meets profession. So this idea of things that you care deeply about, things that you're good at, and how you can, find an income with that, and those all meeting together. For me, I think I've found that in working at EF and helping people experience the world. I'm super passionate about learning about other cultures and helping others do the same. And so actually it's something pretty common at EF is that people, when they join, they're inspired by the mission to open the world through education. That's what brought them there. And, we're an organization that loves people, we're curious. We love to learn about others' traditions in the world. And so if anything, it's something that people can come together around their passion for opening the world.
Future of cultural exchanges going next 5-10 years, both from a technological perspective, from a desire and appetite. What do you see happening?
Yeah. So travel, actually more than ever, more Americans have passports than ever before, and travel has never been more accessible. And we're seeing, record growth, especially coming out of the pandemic, for an interest in people traveling around the world. So I think the future is bright. I think more, people are going to want to continue to travel and to explore new destinations. Technology will certainly have a profound impact. The development of AI is something everyone in the industry is certainly thinking about. To me, that actually has the opportunity to sort of power personalization, to allow us to really anticipate needs of customers and to really focus on human connection. So AI enables, ease of taking a lot of information and helping distill it down to make recommendations that are based on someone's personal interests or personal passions or availability of when they can travel. And if we can use that in the right way, then we can really focus on what we do best, which is meaningful connections.
And you guys use tools right now. If you're a client or out there in the field or a tour operator, they can communicate through multi-channel
That's right.
communication.
That's exactly right. So we have a mobile app that we're super proud of. We are passionate about community building at EF. And so we work on that both before people go, while they're traveling, and when they return. So the mobile app is an example where customers actually have a profile. They have a chance to meet other travelers before they leave on their trip. They have a chance to share photos and tell their stories and stay in touch. And we've seen that people have really stayed engaged and made lifelong friends throughout the process. Another passion is actually solo travel. So we saw this rise coming out of the pandemic of people wanting to travel solo, but not alone, and wanting to go as part of a group. And so we've created a community on Facebook of solo travelers that are sharing their experiences, and then built out a whole series of solo tours where other solo travelers can meet, get to know each other, and be able to go out and explore what they're interested in during the day and have a shared meal and a glass of wine together at night.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
As a former diplomat, my feeling is that the governments around the world should have this app. They should have the EF experience.
Yes, they should.
They should have a whole line, diplomacy through EF.
I agree.
Heidi Durflinger, CEO of World Journeys at EF. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.